Introducing the monthly zodiac predictions calendar. Y'all, I'm so excited about this calendar. I know I don't sound like it. I'm actually so tired at the time that I'm doing this voiceover because I've spent the last 2 weeks really nailing this format and making sure that we have as much information as we can fit on these 2 pages for the month ahead. The calendar on my site at the moment is for April 2023. It features predictions for all of the signs, what they can expect in the month of April 2023. It's quite detailed and I did my best to make it as specific as possible. Feel free to click the link in the description box to learn more about the product on my site, and don't forget to use code ZODIAC to snag a cheeky little discount on this product. Instead of paying the retail price on the site, you'll be paying $3.33, 333 baby. I wanted to offer a discount that is in line with synchronicities and this beautiful community's ability to find them. So if this is something you're interested in, don't forget to use code ZODIAC at checkout. Click the link in the description box, and thank you so much for all of your support. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's reading. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot, and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome everybody. A special welcome to everybody who's returning. So lovely to have you all back. Today's reading is going to be a guidance reading. We're going to be tuning in and getting some general messages from the universe. Now, please don't get it twisted. This reading may be shorter than my other ones, and it may even come across as something that could be very loose and nondescript, but that was the exact opposite of my intention behind this reading. I wanted to deliver a guidance reading to you that was quick, but jam-packed with information. It is very different to what I've been putting out recently. It's probably more similar to my fortnightly guidance readings if you're an OG and you remember those. So I highly recommend, before we even get into it, that you get something to write with and write on. Make sure you're hydrated, make sure you're not distracted, and make sure you're making the most out of whatever group you end up choosing. We will be exploring the theme of what is the universe trying to tell you. It was inspired by these gorgeous galaxy nails that I have the privilege of wearing for now. And the main purpose of this reading is to channel as many helpful messages of support, information, clarity, and guidance that is already around you, whether it's something that your spiritual team has tried to show you previously, or whether it's something that you have intuitively asked for and requested for yourself. This reading is going to draw in the energy around you, helpfully explaining what the universe is already trying to tell you. It will be very specific, so please be very careful about which group you choose. Without further ado, let me introduce the groups to you. Starting with group number 1 over here, we have a pyrite crystal. I chose to keep it simple for the pick a group portion. I didn't want to overcomplicate it with too many cards or too many objects. We're going back to the crystals. So group 1, your crystal is this pyrite crystal, one of my oldest crystals in my collection. You guys will remember this crystal if you've been with me for a little while. It's gorgeous. It's also known as fool's gold. Feel free to explore or search up what pyrite is and what it means, how it's used, if that's helpful. If you feel drawn to this crystal, you'll be a part of group 1's reading. Next we have group 2 with the selenite crystal. Now selenite is a very interesting crystal to look at, and it is a very helpful crystal to have in your collection. This is one of my oldest selenite crystals as well. I chose some OG pieces for this. As I mentioned with the previous group, feel free to look up what selenite does, what its properties are, and how it's used if you wish, if you think there will be additional information that could help you select the right group. If you feel drawn to this crystal, you'll be part of group 2's reading. Last but not least, we have group number 3 over here with the classic amethyst cluster, a very gorgeous piece, if I do say so myself. I was very lucky to have been gifted this crystal. I'm pretty sure it came from Bow Life. I can't 100% confirm that because my memory is just shocking and I've been through so much in the last couple of years. But just in case it is, a huge thank you to Vanessa Saminer and the Bow Life team. If it's not from Life, a massive thank you to whoever sent this to me. If you feel drawn to this amethyst cluster, you'll be a part of Group 3's guidance reading today. So those are the 3 groups. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. You may also wish to join me in the meditation that will play after this. It's a quick 1-minute meditation created to help you intuitively select a group that contains the most messages for you. When you know which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to, click on the timestamps in the description box and join me in your reading.
So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number. It may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color. It could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading.
Hi Group 1 and welcome to your reading. If you chose this pyrite crystal, then this is going to be your reading. Siri, my gosh, that was a little bit weird. Had to clear a lot of energy from my vessel just then. Group 1, we're asking Spirit, what is the universe trying to tell you? My aim for this reading is for it to be a lot more chill. I just want us to tune in together and figure out what the universe has been trying to tell you. There are a lot of messages that are going to come through. I recommend that you get something to write with and write down anything that resonates from the beginning. So let's get into it. Without further ado, I'm going to start laying out some of your oracle cards for you. First card we have is Lord, take charge with authority. We also have Earth Worship. Until my body is in your arms, I will worship you, dear mother of mine. We also have Patience. Long road ahead, reward awaits. Let me move out a little bit. We have this new thing, it's daunting. Waiting for Byram Gold, which is the fear card in my deck. We also have the Messenger in hiding. You matter. You already know. Let me hold you. I am damaged goods. Please don't give up on us, babe. Can you see all of that? You can. This side? No, this side. Okay. With you, the world disappears. Just keep moving. And remember that you are passionate. This card was chewed by Yoda. Remember that you are passionate. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, sorry, I just had to check that we were recording. For some reason, my heart just told me no. All right, let me just drink some water and tune in. I shuffled most of these cards blindly. This is my first time seeing them as well. Let's see what we can find for you, my Group 1s. What is the universe trying to tell Group 1s? Please, Spirit, tune me into Group 1's energy. Guide me to offer clear, honest messages of clarity, direction, and support on their journey. Group 1, I see that the universe is trying to build up confidence within you. You may feel like you're at a fork in the road, or as though you've waited a very long time to reap what you have sown. It feels like the universe is really trying to build up your confidence, your courage, and remind you of why you set out on this journey in the first place. There is also a strong message of you being worthy for that of which you are about to receive. I feel as though, although you've put a lot of effort, energy, and potentially like just a lot of hard work into what you're about to receive, you may reject it out of fear of not being ready enough, capable enough, responsible enough, or good enough. It could be a case of some imposter syndrome, or it could be the case of you feeling as though this is not the right time. Spirit is really calling for you to remember what led you to this point in your life. I feel as though the turning point that you're at, or the fork in the road that you're approaching, has a lot to do with a manifestation or an intention that you put out into the universe and that you have been chipping away at. For some of you, the main reason why this feels like it's out of your reach, like you don't deserve it, has a lot to do with the fact that you are very, 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 or that you have experienced, you're very, very close to receiving it, and you have recently experienced regressive patterns of behavior. And what that feels like is you almost think that you need to be punished for when you weren't consistent with your goals, with your effort, with the energy that you were putting into this. It almost feels like you believe you must be punished. And because of that, I think that the universe is just in this reading really trying to tell you that you don't need to be punished for being human and for having periods of extra deep, invigorating release through learning the hard way. It's not your fault that you are tempted to slip into patterns of behavior or thoughts that are familiar, albeit regressive. If you want to do things that feel counterproductive towards your goals, your intentions, your manifestations, you do it knowing that energy is transmutable, changeable, and constant. Every action chips away at your future in your present, but that doesn't mean you are convicted every time you do something that you think is wrong to a specific path. The universe is trying to offer you grace and tell you that you are not condemned to this regressive path forever, and you don't have to punish yourself for the moments where you felt that you weren't as on track as you should have been. There is a strong feeling here of you just stepping back up into your power because you owe it to yourself, not because you owe it to anybody else, to your belief system, to your religion, to your family, to your friends, mostly because you owe it to yourself to be able to give yourself the best possible chance at success in this lifetime. There's a lot of fear in your reading, and I feel like the universe is trying to remind you that fear is natural. It's not always healthy, but what is healthy? That is a subjective word in itself. Fear is natural, and sometimes certain personality types work really well with fear. They use fear as fuel, because if they weren't afraid, it wouldn't mean so much to them to be successful in what they're afraid of. So I really believe that the universe right now is really trying to just get you back on side with yourself so that you're not playing and pitting yourself against yourself internally, having the courage and the energetic strength to push through whatever adversities, and especially internal, you are facing. There is also a strong message here of saying yes and being receptive whenever you are offered an opportunity that is outside of your comfort zone in the near future. This has a lot to do with the fact that it is something that you want, but it may be something that you don't believe you're good enough for. Spirit is saying, please don't give up on us, babe. Just keep moving. There is a strong message here of the universe showing you confirmation that you are ready by trying to send you earth angels, if you believe in that, spirits and vessels of people on this earth who are there to support you, whether they do that consciously or whether they do that subconsciously. They care about you and they want what's best for you. And they are here physically in the 3D to show you support and to really build on this confidence and this idea that you deserve what you're about to receive. There is a strong message, especially in your oracle cards, that what you're about to receive is not actually promised to you, in that if you do reject it, it will move along to the next receiver. It's something that you have to feel ready for and that you have to actively accept. You cannot just expect it to slip perfectly into the flow of the life that you currently lead. Whatever this opportunity is, it involves action and it involves restructuring. I do believe that you will have a lot of control over how much restructuring is required, over how much you may need to kind of make this work. But at the same time, remember that we are never given more than what we are capable of. And I firmly believe that the reason why you're being given this opportunity, even though it feels like a challenge and adversity, you're being given it because you asked for it. And in divine timing, it's being delivered to you. The other message here, group 1, is that whatever this opportunity is, it is a chance for you to express, to create. There is a strong sense of passion in this opportunity. And it does feel like this opportunity has a lot to do with you showing yourself, as well as those around you, what you are capable of. It feels like this is something that could be an outlet or a creative endeavor for you. Something that is very unique and meaningful to you, in a way that anyone's art is unique and meaningful to them and hard to duplicate at its core from other people. I do believe that you will receive a lot of recognition for whatever it is that you're about to do. Not only is there support in the process of accepting this opportunity and really restructuring your responsibilities, your priorities in order to make this work, but there is also support on the other end as you show signs of success through this adversity, through this fear, and through these energetic challenges. It feels mostly challenging because it is different to what you've been doing up until this moment. It's something that you have to consider as, well, this is kind of out of my depth right now. I haven't been doing stuff like this in a while. I haven't been flexing that creative muscle recently. So for that reason, your mind and your energy is frazzled and a little concerned and fearful over how this is going to materialize. But you have the potential, you have the power, you have the energy, you have the capabilities. It is something that you are more than capable of materializing. The last little message here is about your point of reference, your peer group, the people around you, my group 1s, the people who may helpfully add to your circumstances, as well as may cast shadows of doubt and fear and unnecessary concern. There seems to need to be a restructuring within your close circle, not to permanently exclude people, but to temporarily delegate that kind of control and power over your point of reference to other people. It's like you need to consider who you are comparing yourself to and where you are getting your support from. You want powerful, strong, capable, equally creative people like yourself standing beside you, guiding you, supporting you, helping you, cheering you on, and also being your voice of reason when you need that practical and helpful support. You don't want people who don't know what they're talking about, who have never been through these challenges, and who may have the potential to either consciously or subconsciously sabotage your opportunity for success. There does need to be a restructuring in who you spend your time with and who you seek support from, even if it is just while you are studying or while you are working on building your courage and your self-esteem right now. The people around you are impacting your ability to see that this is something you can achieve, because you're looking at your peers, the people next to you, and you're going, well, they've never done something like this. I've never seen this person successful in this. I really want to ask someone for support, but these people don't know what they're talking about. It is very important that you consider who is around you, because without even meaning to, you are downloading and exchanging comparative information between you and your peers, and this is impacting your ability to see yourself as successful. Outside of that, the only other message I have, I know I got so many messages, is that for my group ones, it is time for you to come out of hiding. It is time for you to flex your capabilities, your potential, to push yourself, to be a little bit stern with yourself, so that you can truly see what you are capable of. It is time to maybe rein in some of that hedonistic behavior for now. I'm a firm believer that we are here to experience this life, not punish ourselves for it. But for now, you're getting so wrapped up in the instantly gratifying opportunities that you may have temporarily lost sight in the overall design of your life. Get back into that long-term plan and see that this is something you may need to push yourself for. You may need to big note yourself for, as we call it in my culture. Tall poppy syndrome. If that is what it takes, if that is the confidence you need to possess, do it. Because you are not someone who is meant to be a wallflower, a quiet spectator, a fly on the wall in somebody else's main character movie. Come out of hiding. You are not damaged to the point where you don't deserve anything good. It is very important that right now you step into that action mode and stay open to what the universe is bringing to you. So group one, that is what I'm seeing for you. That is what the universe is trying to tell you. Let's have a quick look at what we are supposed to be covering in your extended reading. For my group ones, what do we need to talk about? We have the Page of Pentacles. What else do we need to talk about in the extended reading? We have the Devil card. Yes. There's that hedonism. What else do we need to talk about? The Knight of Cups reversed. I'm hearing just say no with the King of Wands reversed at the back of the deck. Let me just bring my Instagram voice recorder up. So group one, in your extended reading, we need to talk about this Page of Pentacles, this potential that you have, this opportunity that you have to further develop yourself. Where is it leading you towards? What is in your best interest right now? And how can you maximize your success? Those are the sorts of questions we're going to be asking with this Page of Pentacles. We're also going to be exploring this Devil energy in your extended reading. This Devil energy is a reflection of really indulging and throwing yourself into what is physically and instantly gratifying. We need to have a look at balance and how this kind of behavior is both helpful and unhelpful. I want to look at it as a twofold situation. I'm a bit of a devil's advocate when it comes to hedonism. It's not something that I think is feasible for most people in terms of like sustainable as a practice or a philosophy, but I do think that it is in our human nature to experience, to explore, and to try. So I will look at the Devil card on both sides of the coin How is this kind of behavior helpful for you, and how is it unhelpful? Just getting all the information so that you can make a decision about what is next with that kind of practice for yourself. Next, we need to talk about this Knight of Cups reverse. The main message I got when that card came out was just say no. There is a energy of rejecting or pushing somebody away here and trusting what your heart is trying to tell you. I do believe that you could be rejecting someone, or you may need to let go of somebody who has been rejecting you through the way that they've been treating you. I feel like whatever this is, it's very one-sided, and we need to have a look at this relationship dynamic and what is in your best interest when it comes to your care and your love for others right now. There is a specific relationship in your life that Spirit wants to talk about, but we have to explore that in the extended reading. We're a smaller group in the extended reading, and I can get more specific. Lastly, this King of Wands. We do really need to talk about the fact that your plans are going to change, and something is really kind of feeling like it's throwing you in the deep end here, when actually it's trying to expose you to something that you may have not considered previously. I do want to look at what the divine plan is for you and how you are likely to react to this change of events, just to give you as much information to prepare you for that. Sometimes this can be a confronting situation in which our ego rejects and denies when our soul is begging for us to say yes. So I want to try to inform your ego and educate your ego as much on what this opportunity is, on why it is in your best interest, on why it might be very helpful, so that you can feel a little bit less confronted when this change of plans and change in reality occurs. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, especially if the first part of your reading did resonate and you would like to join me in your extended, the link is in the description box. The extended reading is on my website, Group 1. Amethyst Hermes, who are members on my website, get access to all extended readings from today's video and from the videos that I've been posting over the last 13 months. If you are an extended reading fan, I highly recommend you look into those videos. If you're a Zodiac fan, I highly recommend you check out my Zodiac calendars. I am going to plug them a little bit because I'm really proud of them. A lot of effort went into them, and I had a lot of helpful creative support in doing them. I do believe it's something that would benefit almost anybody. Even if you are not well versed in astrology, it's something that I created for those who just need that little bit of assurance, of support, and of help when it comes to getting information about what they can expect in the month ahead. If that's something that you're curious about, check out the link in my description box as well, and see if that's something you'd be interested in purchasing for yourself and your loved ones. I want to thank you, Group 1, for all of your energy, your time, your support. I really appreciate you for being here. I'm sending you so much love on your way. Thank you for choosing me to channel these messages for you today, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi my Group 2s, and welcome. If you chose the selenite crystal, then this is going to be your reading. So lovely to have you here, Group 2. Today's reading is going to be a different vibe to what I've been putting out recently. I'm going to get you quick, detailed messages. What is the universe trying to tell you? If you chose the selenite crystal, this will be your group. If you did not choose the selenite crystal, or you're a little bit unsure of whether this is your group, please go back to the intro. I'm going to be throwing some pretty strong themes out there, and if you don't think this is your group, you don't have to subject yourselves to that information. Without further ado, let me lay some cards out and get everything ready for you. The only other thing I need to bring up as I'm laying everything out is I do want you to make sure that you're ready. Please have something to write everything down on, something to write with, something to write on. You don't have to actually write everything. That was just a slip of the tongue. It is important that you write down what resonates for you, though. And it is important that you do take note of what is helpful, whether it just sort of stands out to you or whether it does directly relate to something that you are currently going through. I really want to make sure that you have that information accessible, and that you have it on you without having to come back to YouTube. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I do appreciate the views, I do appreciate the help in boosting the algorithm. This is about you. So please get something to write with and write down so that you can have access to it whenever you need it. Okay, so we got a lot of cards here. Spirit, please tune me into Group 2's energy. Please help me to offer them clarity, information, and guidance. Please let me get as specific as I need to be. Now, let me share some of these words with you, because I did that for my group ones, and I just didn't do it with you, did I? I was talking about other things. So, from the Angels and Ancestors deck, you guys got the Animal Guardian. Trust your instincts. From the, oh my days, what is this deck called, Spirit? Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle deck, we got the Phoenix card. Number 31. Summoned, your flesh rises from the ashes and into the expansive flame of your soul. From this beautiful Dreamy Moons Oracle deck, you got Head, Logic and Evaluation. You also have A Fearful World and Under a Spell, number 69 and 50 from the... To be honest with you, I can't even remember what that Oracle deck is. I've had some of these decks for a while now. I don't actually remember what that deck is called. But it is available on Tarot Stack, and I do have a link to Tarot Stack in the description box. You also have Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, I do, from my Musical Messages Oracle deck. From my Channeled Messages Oracle deck, you got Strength, Ego, number 8. You also got They Are Waiting for You, and the I Want a Fresh Start with You card, number 1. From Jalissa's Messages deck, you've got, this is the Respectfully the Truth Oracle deck. You got I Need Time to Process, I Don't Want to Lose You, I'm Having Financial Issues That Make Me Insecure. And down here we have Enjoyed the Moment. This is the deck that I got from Cotton On. It is more of a clothing store, to be honest with you. I saw this little affirmations deck and I was like, you know what, let me just grab that real quick. And that's also where I got this one. You Will Achieve Great Things. That's from the sister business of Cotton On. It's called Typo. If you're Australian, you already know. Now, it's interesting. You are in a similar energy as my group ones, but yours has more of a sense of urgency to it. You may resonate with messages from group 1. I'm not telling you to go back there though. We don't want you to get confused. If you don't think you have any messages in group 1, please don't overcomplicate your situation. But I could see how at an earlier time in your life, even just 2 weeks ago, group 1 would have been your group. This reading is relevant for those of you who have committed yourself to a path and you've already taken that big first step. This reading is to really help you figure out what your next steps are and how to remain confident in moving forward on the path that you're already committed to. Spirit is really trying to confirm that this is the right decision that you've made. Please continue to have courage, to have a balanced ego, and to create movement forward. Trust your instincts, be clear-minded and level-headed. You're also being called to observe the information that you already have. If you are facing confusion after committing yourself to something, consider asking for more professional help, because I do believe that you have a lot of ideas that need to start being implemented. And once you implement those ideas, you'll be a bit more clearer on what those next steps are. If you are experiencing confusion about what do I do next, it either has to do with you implementing ideas you already have or asking for professional help in how to implement those ideas. There's a strong energy in this group of being able to rise and conquer your challenges through proactive action. So it makes me think that you already have a lot of the answers that you need. It's just about putting them into action. There is a message here of trusting a process. I think that this process has a lot to do with things that are out of your control. There's going to inevitably be a part in your journey in which you've given everything that you possibly can. You've put all the effort in to the situation that you can, and you may need to trust that process. Trust that you've put in enough in order to get to the next stage. It could look like a waiting game for some of you, a waiting game that could be sped up through helpful distraction and just making sure that you've got other things preoccupying your mind and your time. But for others of you, that waiting game is about you channeling energy into the other areas of your life that need your full attention. Another area of your life, my group twos, that may need your full attention is your outlets and how you are de-stressing and offloading at the end of the day. This is beyond self-care. This is actually about maintaining a certain energetic level so that you can wake up the next day and go at it again, while also giving yourself a break. Now, this makes me think of, I don't know if this is a concept familiar to you, I don't know who I'm reading for exactly in this general reading, but when it comes to weight training or people who have like active goals with strength training and endurance, often on their rest days, they have active rest days to keep their body moving, to ensure that they are resting the stress and tension put on their muscle groups while also keeping their heart rate active. So instead of slamming the weights and bumping out heavy sort of personal bests in the gym, they are taking long and somewhat cardio sort of active walks to keep their heart rate up on their days off. That's just an example that comes to mind, active rest days, to maintain momentum in your life right now without constantly putting yourself under that same specific stress. I think that this group would benefit from, after they come home after a long day of work or after a difficult weekend or a long week, doing something that is engaging but different. I almost think that this has a lot to do with your hobbies and your interests as well. If there are other things that you had been planning to do, maybe you're just going to have a busy next couple of weeks in general. Your free time is looking like you still staying active and invested. I don't see a lot of horizontal time for you. I see you upright and out there, my group twos. This is going to differ for each and every one of you, but there is also a message here of looking after yourself, of fueling yourself appropriately with food as you are more active now. Are you hydrated enough for this busy day ahead? Are you making sure that you have a hydration source on you in this busy day ahead? Do you have a full fuel source on you in this busy day ahead, whether that's protein bars, whether that's fruit, nuts in a bag, or trail mix, something to keep you going? It's very important that you are fueling yourself properly, because this group is very much, your message is about action and staying active right now. Outside of that, I can see clarity coming for you. If you were waiting to hear back from somebody so that you could take further action, I do see that happening very, very soon. And I think that the truth of the situation is that once you have that clarity, like, you're going to be wanting to move quite quickly. Whatever this clarity is, or whatever this information is, it has you going out of a period of inaction and straight into a period of quick sort of, not even change, it's more like reaction. Especially with this under a spell card. It's like we've gone from not too much or just a lot of openness and newness to all of a sudden needing to just make it happen and make it happen fast. I do think that when it comes to your financial state, There is a message here of making sure that you are budgeting, that you are aware of your resources, and that you are planning ahead. I think that for this group, for that financial issues card to come out, there is a message here of think long term, think ahead, and make sure that you aren't accidentally taking on too much of a financial burden right now, or overcommitting financial resources right now. This group especially seems to be pushing, but just make sure that you're being budget friendly with what you're doing. It kind of also reminds me of sometimes when you have those busy days, you know, you're not thinking ahead when it comes to meal prepping, you're buying food on the road, all of that does add up. Instead of sticking to the shopping list or the weekly food budget, we're having to supplement and fuel ourselves on the road, which is depleting our overall plan or the money that we don't actually have to spend. So just consider that as well. Very specific message. Outside of that, you do have a message here about a fresh opportunity. I'm struggling to feel, to be honest, I can see two messages. One message about this fresh opportunity is that it's very much about you, and it has a lot to do with you, how you invest your energy, what you're choosing to kind of put your attention towards, mostly because it's going to go towards things that you're passionate about, things that you're excited about, and things that make you feel, what's the best word for it? Like there is purpose. Like I'm doing this because it's leading to this. Now, as you do these things, there are people, specifically one person around you, who is very interested in what you have got going on. I do think that this is coming through as them wanting to be a part of your journey. But for a lot of you, this is them trying to find a way to be resourceful, trying to find a way to be a part of what you're going through. This person does seem to be someone that has your best interest at heart, my group twos. I don't think they're malicious. They see you as someone who is achieving great things, and they want to be a part of that journey. But the way that they do it is in a very almost needy way. It's by making themselves need you or need to be a part of your life, or making you feel like you need them. And I think that logically you're going like, I don't need this. I actually don't need you. But this person is still trying to find a way to kind of be a part of your journey, so they're making you think you need them. Even though you're seeing the bigger picture, just understand that their intentions are good. They're just trying to find a way to be a part of this journey, because they do seem to care about you, and they do seem to want what is best for you. So maybe they do need a more defined role in your life. It's giving that energy of someone who's so happy for you and proud of you, but they're also afraid of losing you as you level up. It does kind of give me overbearing parent vibes, but it could also be a friend. It could also be a lover. This is someone who cares about you, but they're having a hard time understanding how they can best help you and what role they can do for you. They're seeing you busy. They're seeing you in action mode. They're seeing you, make some big moves for yourself, and they want to be resourceful. They want to be helpful. I just think that they have an uncanny way of making it about themselves without even meaning to. Outside of that, the only other messages I have for you have a lot to do with you being able to tune out other people's fears. Now, this could be coming from those loved ones who want to be a part of your life, and the way that they're doing that is by fear-mongering a little bit and kind of going like, well, listen, like 2 heads are better than 1. Like, are you really sure about this? Maybe I should have a look at it all too. Maybe I should, make myself free on Wednesday and help you out. There is an energy here of you being able to assert yourself against people who have these loud voices and unhelpful opinions, so that you can truly focus on what needs to be done. And I think in order to get to that point, my group twos, you need to start to identify where those external fears are coming from, and you need to feel confident and courageous enough, brave enough for some of you, because these are people that you love and respect, to have those conversations with them. I do believe this is also, in terms of this energy over here, talking about your own fears, really pushing you into that fighter energy, that thriving and surviving energy, to the point where you're maybe not enjoying the moment. The universe is trying to tell you to open your eyes, stop squeezing them shut. What you're afraid of has been a very powerful motivator for you, but it's not helping at the moment. It's not helping you enjoy this moment and this process. And it could have been because, you were going through a very stressful time. And how could you enjoy that moment? There's nothing but stress in that moment. But you're going to start to see that stressful moment is waning. And even amongst the stress, this is something that deserves to be experienced as part of the journey. And there may come a time, I'm not going to say there will, but there may come a time where you look back and you go, dang, I wish I would have just opened my eyes a little bit and gotten out of fight or flight mode and just really enjoyed that moment for what it was. Because as stressful as it was also one of the best moments of my life. And it was a moment that I will probably never be able to get back. It does feel like this group, listen, you are on the up and up. The trajectory is very much diagonal. We're not peaking yet. And these little steps, these stressful steps, these action busy steps are a big part of continuing forward. And staying receptive and present is a big part of continuing forward. Opening your eyes and looking at the road, the path that you're actually on, is a big part of moving forward. So I think the only other things that the universe is really trying to tell you is that you will achieve great things, Group 2. You are clever. You are intelligent. You are perceptive. You are very much keeping your finger on the pulse of your greatness. You see things and you react in ways that other people cannot keep up with. Don't forget that you have loving people around you who want to be resourceful. Give them tasks, give them a role, show them how they can be helpful, or tell them how they are being unhelpful, which is actually very helpful. Appreciate that this process is something that should be enjoyed. As stressful as it is a part of the journey. You will receive clarity, especially if you've been waiting on a process and waiting for the outcome so that you can figure out what to do. That is going to happen very soon, if not already. You're going to be very busy in the next couple of weeks, so make sure you're fueling yourself appropriately. Make sure you're taking care of your vessel. Make sure your rest is rest. And make sure that when you have those off days, you are still finding ways to kind of keep your body moving so that you don't slow down and lose momentum. It is also very important that you stay focused. Have a clear list of priorities every day because you are going to be so busy. And make sure that you make those priorities achievable, measurable, and timely, as well as specific. I'm literally saying things that I say on my podcast now. Make sure they are SMART goals and priorities. Make sure that you are using your resources and your skill set to go through this. Make sure that you are giving yourselves that little boost of confidence with every step that you take, affirming that this is something that is achievable for you. And make sure that you enjoy that process, sweets. You are incredible. And as much energy as you're putting into this, you're also getting a lot back. I think that's pretty much everything. My Group 2s, is there anything else you want them to know, Spirit? No, that's pretty much everything. Let's have a look at what we're covering in your extended readings. What are we covering in Group 2's extended reading? What are we covering in Group 2's extended reading? We have the Hermit card. We also have the Four of Wands reversed. What else are we covering in Group 2's extended reading? the Knight of Cups. And at the back of the deck, we need to talk about the Emperor. Okay, let me just get my voice note ready so that I can record this. Down, 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 down. Okay, group 2. With your Hermit card here, we need to talk about your wisdom, your logic, and the decisions that you're making. Spirit mostly wants to talk about trusting yourself more. The universe is trying to tell you to trust yourself more, but this Hermit card is about finding direction and trusting what your own experiences in your past are leading you towards in your future. We also need to talk about this Four of Wands. We need to have a look at what is shifting for you stability-wise and how you can best adjust with this shift. The Four of Wands reversed can be a restless feeling of where to next, what is going to happen after this, and how can I find my sense of peace again, or how can I best cope with these changes. We're going to talk about that in the extended reading, and I will also see if there's anything else Spirit wants you to know about that Four of Wands, because sometimes that's about getting outside of a comfort zone and actually setting bigger goals and investing your energy elsewhere instead of getting too stable and stuck and stagnant. So we will talk about that as well. Next, with this Knight of Cups, we also need to talk about your opportunities for love and how that is playing a role in where you're at currently and in where you're going. We'll have a look at whether this is romantic love or platonic love, but there seems to be love offers or an opportunity to share feelings that could be a huge part of your journey as of now and what's next. So we need to have a look at that. We also need to have a look at what it is specifically and maybe who it is coming from, just getting more clarity around that. With the Emperor here, Spirit also wants to talk to you about control, accountability, and planning. A big part of your trajectory in terms of that diagonal trajectory of moving up and up and up has to do with you setting plans in place and really staying accountable so that you can be in this action mode proactively. So I think we need to have a look at what is in our realm of control and accountability and how can we outsource some of that or ask for some support and help. There is an interesting group energy in this group of you being incredibly capable, incredibly strong, but that doesn't mean you should be carrying this load all by yourself. You have people around you who want to help you as well, or there could be professionals who can help you as well. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, especially if the first part of your reading resonated group 2, your extended reading is on my website. The link to your extended reading is in the description box. That link will take you to my website where you will have to find your reading. So please remember you are group 2 of the What is the Universe Trying to Tell You readings. Make sure you select the right group. Otherwise, it'll take me some time to get back to you and to fix that for you. So please make sure you pick the right group. Before you go group 2, wherever you are going, I want to thank you for all of your support, your time, your energy right here on YouTube. I do have a new product out which might be helpful for you. It's the Zodiac Predictions Calendar. If you are someone who finds a lot of help in these readings, I've kind of put them into a Zodiac form, which I was doing on my second channel. And I've aimed at, with that calendar, giving you a summary of what you can expect based on your sun sign and how that will translate into key opportunities, key challenges, and ultimately key advice in your month ahead. So if you really get a lot from these guidance readings, that calendar could be something for you as well. I recommend you look at it. Have a suss. It's in the description box. But I won't take up any more of your time, group 2. I appreciate you for being here, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi my group 3s and welcome to your reading. If you chose this amethyst crystal, then this is going to be your What is the Universe Trying to Tell You guidance reading. A huge welcome. I feel like I know some of y'all personally, so thank you so much for joining me on the Hermit Tarot's channel today. How I'm talking about myself in third person, crazy. But anyway, Welcome all of you, group threes. Before we get into it, I've just got to do a little disclaimer / a little preface, I guess, for lack of a better word. Please make sure that you have something to write with and write on. This is a guidance reading. It's going to be a quick and specific guidance reading. After I lay out your cards, things will move fast, so make sure you have something ready to receive or write your messages down. A blank piece of paper would be preferable, but if you don't have a blank piece of paper, anything will do. This reading is going to be different to my usual readings. I'm not going to focus on making my voice fun and attractive. I'm focusing on the messages. So when I channel like this, my voice is lower. I'm conserving energy so that I can channel more. There will be an extended reading. We'll talk about that at the end. To get there, we have to start here. Now, as you can see, I've pre-shuffled oracle cards for you. I have a few tarot decks on the side as well if we need to clarify anything. I don't think we will, but if we do, they'll be there ready as well. So, let's lay out your cards, shall we? My group 3 spirit. What is the universe trying to tell my group 3s? We have Wise One, grow within your current situation from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. We have Forgiveness, set yourself free. This is from my Dreamy Moons Oracle deck. You can get that on Tarot Stack or from Dreamy Moons directly. We also have B, don't drink all of life from one flower, for there are many to taste and many to explore. This card is from my Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle deck. We also have Repopulation, number 18, and Everything You Need Too Soon. I always forget this deck name, unfortunately, but it is also available on Tarot Stack. From my deck, we have My Life Started When I Met You reversed. I'm Open to Compromise. Those are both the Two of Cups, one reversed, one upright. And we also have Yeah, Nah. Let me zoom out a little bit. From my other oracle deck, we have Euphoria by Sen Sen Ra. That's my ecstasy card in this deck. From Jalissa's Respectfully the Truth oracle deck, we have With You, the World Disappears. I'm going to keep that reversed, actually. We also have I Will Be More Consistent, I Promise. We got 4 cards from this deck, actually, which I thought was crazy, because I only got 3 for the others, but I was like, okay, we'll get 4 for you. We have I Am Damaged Goods. And we also have Love Never Gets Lost, Time Doesn't Define Us. I don't want to know if this is all going to fit. Now you can see my jean shorts, but that's okay. We also have You Are Enough. This is from the Collective Hub Oracle deck. What is this deck called? I recently put it on my Instagram as well. Cards to Inspire. And then we got this beautiful card from the Daily Compliments Share the Love deck. Holy heck, you're killing it. You're killing it, sweetie. Okay, let me just hold some crystals and let's get into it. Group 3, there is a very strong message here about companionship and getting on the same page with someone that you love. I feel like the point of this is to make sure that your relationship isn't defined by any of the temporary setbacks you have been experiencing. It's important that you get on the same page for the sake of preserving a genuine, deep connection. I'm not going to tell you to do this for everybody and anybody in your life. This is the kind of relationship that is worth working on, because there is evidence up until this point that the two of you have a lot to contribute, to offer, and to help each other with. This feels more like a partnership than a relationship, to be honest. The universe is trying to tell you that you and this person are different for the right reasons, and you're the same for the right reasons. This is somebody who is very much meant to be a part of your story for a long time, and they are worth working on the challenges for. This person may have been testing your patience, or you may have not been able to see eye to eye recently about an issue that really was close to your heart. That is fine. Again, the differences are what make you good for each other. You're supposed to have moments where you don't agree on everything because you challenge each other to think differently and to examine a situation through the other person's eyes. It's okay to have different opinions and different, what the energy feels like is different values of that moment, if that makes sense, based on what your personalities are. I do think that outside of this relationship, partnership, the universe is also encouraging you to have meaningful conversations with the people around you about what has been on your mind or what you may have been recently stressed or thinking about. It feels like this is a group that really needs to honor their feelings at this time, whether it's a short conversation about something that you've just been replaying over and over again in your head, or whether it's a deep and meaningful conversation with someone who you've been hoping to catch up with for some time. Prioritizing that moment, or really sort of making it known to that person that I do want to have this discussion with you, is going to help lift a weight off your shoulders and kind of bring back more capacity, more energy to focus on other things in your life. Speaking of other things, the universe is trying to tell you to give yourself more allowances, more time off, and more experiences that are sensual. It feels like you may have been being a bit too hard on yourself. You could be fearful of overindulging, for some of you even relapsing. You could be afraid of what that kind of sensuality is going to do for your discipline. But it feels like the universe is saying, sweets, you actually just need to start giving more time on a regular basis to the things that you enjoy doing. It's not about being gluttonous or kind of wasteful. It actually feels like by doing more of the things that you enjoy doing, you're going to be more happy, more receptive, and more able to kind of be present in those responsible, duty-filled times. Speaking of your duties, it does feel like you are someone who has a lot to offer those around you when it comes to experience, when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to information. I feel like this group will have someone approach them very soon for advice that feels personal. You could be in a professional capacity to give advice as well, due to your role or your career path. But I feel like this kind of advice, my group threes, is personal. This person has sought you out because they want to know what you can do for them. They want to relate to you, and they want to be where you are today in terms of what you may have. I feel like Spirit is saying this is your opportunity to be the crone rather than the maiden, and to, without feeling old, really give this person a very subjective wedge of your experience. I think this is a very gratifying opportunity. It feels like you gain a lot from this experience, as they will. And I think it really helps put things into perspective for you. It may even make you realize that this is something you want to keep doing within a reciprocated capacity. Maybe you've been finding yourself sort of craving a chance to give advice, not wanting it to be unsolicited. Or maybe you didn't realize how much knowledge you have to offer in this specific area until now. For some of you, you have this teacher energy about you that needs to be utilized more by the right community of people. It feels like you're someone that has a lot to offer. And I think the universe is trying to tell you that there is a specific way for you to start offering that advice, or to get back into the habit of offering that advice, to share more of your experience, to share more of your journey to those who could really benefit from it. Outside of that, there is also a message here of getting something off the ground. This feels like a project that you'd been umming and ahhing about, something that you'd been sort of, oh, should I, shouldn't I? I think that this is something that you have told people, but you've prefaced it with, I'm not really sure about it yet, but this is what I'm thinking of doing. The universe is saying, this is something that has the potential to be quite successful. It's also something that I feel is quite unique to you, in that if you don't do it, there will be a gap there that only you can really fill, if that makes sense. Nobody's going to step up and fill that gap for you, or there isn't much competition around filling that gap around you. So I feel like the universe is encouraging you and trying to tell you that this is something you should pursue, for the sake of giving other people that opportunity to see that being done as well, and you having the chance to follow through on something that you really want to do. The only advice with getting this off the ground is to stay receptive in how big it could grow. I feel like you're coming into it with a healthy level of cynicism, in that you don't want to get too carried away with the plans. But the universe is going to slowly kind of push you to be a bit more open and a bit more receptive and a bit more ambitious, until before you know it, this little idea could have the chance to be quite grand and successful. I do believe there is a message here about being more optimistic in general. There's a lot of signs that you're actually doing really well, Group 3. And there's nothing wrong with being skeptical and cautious and practical and realistic when setting goals. But we do, at this stage, need to understand that we have a lot more to give. We have not peaked, and there is a lot more that we can do. I really feel like the universe is hoping for you to start doing the things that you want, as a way of building, in terms of that sensuality message previously, as a way of building your confidence and really building your ability to see yourself being successful, starting with small steps. Well, today I really wanted ice cream, and even though I've been so disciplined and careful about overloading my body with sweets and sugar, I just decided, you know what, life is too short, it's hot, I had a big day, I want ice cream. Giving yourself permission to be successful and to have these experiences is going to start to lead to some pretty big changes. And they don't feel like the kind of changes that are forced upon you. These are changes that you are actively making because there is something that you really want to grow. Speaking of growth, we need to talk about that repopulation card down here. The universe has been trying to tell you that you are at a turning point in your journey, in which you can pivot if you want to. Pivoting for you looks like diverting your energy or pivoting your attention from one thing to another. But you have to pivot. You can't juggle them both at the same time. In order to be most successful in this repopulation card, by really taking advantage of a new opportunity, you need to pivot and divert your attention from one thing to another. You need to commit yourself to that. I think this repopulation energy is very much about you recognizing that although you have had experiences that contribute towards a sense of success, recognition, and achievement, there is still so much more that you have to offer, to give, and to receive. Spirit is really trying to say, you have not peaked, Group 3. You are someone who deserves a lot more than what you have gained. And I don't think this is a self-worth issue. I think this is maybe a more circumstantial situation of trying to see how much you're willing to take on right now. The universe has been trying to tell you again that the best way that you can do that is by examining where your energy is currently going. With that repopulation card, it is in your best interest to switch and to not juggle. Switch, divert, and pivot. The other messages that I have for you are mostly centered around these cards that we have over here. The universe has been trying to tell you that your point of focus is supposed to be somewhat distorted right now. Maybe you have found it hard to be as tunnel visioned as you were in the past when it comes to your goals or to the things that you've been working towards. Maybe you've felt a little distracted or even in a bit of a haze, unable to stay focused or fixated on any one thing. That is kind of where you are meant to be, because the goal about all of this, around all of this, was to show you that your passion is something that is worth investing elsewhere. I think that you've reached a point in your life, group 3, where you really need to consider bringing zest in, or I don't even want to say bringing zest in, because you have the zest already. It's more about focusing your zest, your passion, your tunnel vision, your determination, your hard work, your work ethic in general, on something that is going to be worth focusing on. I'm not saying that your responsibilities, priorities, or goals right now aren't worth focusing on, but it's been harder to focus on them because I do think that you're being coaxed to be a little bit more ambitious in a different direction. The universe is saying that when the right opportunity to focus on comes through, it's going to be hard to distract you. When you are passionate, you're locked in. Tunnel vision is not even something you have to force. It is almost naturally initiated. And I do think with this card here, I will be more consistent, I promise. Please don't beat yourself up for not being consistent right now, for being distracted right now. This is a whole part of the process of you regenerating and recharging before your next passionate pursuit. You are supposed to be somewhat disconnected, dissociated, so that you can recharge and regenerate right now. You're not supposed to go from one burning stove to another. You're supposed to be cooling off right now under the sink. So I do think, sorry to use that kitchen analogy, this group is someone who still has some pretty big power moves available to them. And the universe is just out here trying to keep that confidence at 200 and make sure that you realize that you are still someone with a lot to offer. Are there any other messages, Spirit, that you want group 3 to know? There is a message here of sun worshipping or recharging in the sun. Now, I'm very hesitant to share those kinds of messages only because skin cancer is real, okay? Please do whatever is in your best interest when it comes to your health. But I do think this group would benefit from safely recharging in the sun and using sunlight as a boost in productivity, in clarity, and in energy in general. Charging in the sun can at times actually be a very peaceful meditative process in which you feel a bit too relaxed to be proactive. But when you do it frequently, your body gets into the cycle of discharging and recharging. The first time you do it, especially after you've been busy for a while and it's been a long time since you have just laid out in the sun, your body will most likely discharge a lot of energy and you will feel really chill, really sleepy, and probably ready for bed. But again, getting into that regular practice will lead you to the point where you can both discharge and recharge within one sitting. You don't have to make a whole day of it. Again, be safe, be sun safe, but do whatever feels comfortable for you in terms of the heat, in terms of the UV rays. And when you're finished, make sure you drink plenty of water. I personally drink at least 1 liter of water afterwards. Make sure you have something to kind of nourish your vessel because your body is looking for fuel after you sit under the sun. So water and food. And then make sure you give yourself space to just feel how you are feeling. Sometimes I leave that sort of experience wanting to journal and just write some stuff down that has been floating throughout my head through that process. Other times I leave that experience and just want to go and tackle my daily objectives, my little lists and tasks and errands. Other times I just want to sit and not think, and just let that heat sort of radiate through my body for a while. And that's fine as well. Just stay connected, stay present, and stay mindful of what your body is encouraging you to do after that process. I think that sun bathing and sun worshipping could be very helpful for you. That's the practice that I do. Obviously, there's a whole other side to sun worshipping that you can look into and see if that's something that you're interested in as well. Whatever works for you. But those are the messages that I have for you today, my group threes. Let me shuffle some chords and we'll see what we need to cover in your extended reading. For group three. Card fell on the ground. Let me grab it. What are we covering in group three's extended reading? My group threes, please, Spirit. What do you want to talk about in their extended reading? We have this Five of Wands coming out reversed. We also have the Five of Swords coming out reversed. And we have the Five of Pentacles. Oh my days. 3 5s. 5, 5, 5. The moon is at the back of your deck as well. Let me just get my little voice notes up so I can record what we will be covering in your extended reading. I'll then be using my voice note to follow everything that we're supposed to be covering in your extended reading. The main reason I do this group 3 is I like to take a break between readings to recharge, to discharge, as we were talking about in your reading, just making sure that I'm giving you full capacity every time I read. So let's get into it. Group 3, all these fives are telling me one thing. We need to talk about changes in your life. It's not about how you can make changes. It's more about how you can kind of go with the flow of change a little bit better. It feels like in some instances we're resisting change, and in other instances we're trying to enforce change. There is a feeling of disconnect between the natural progression of things in terms of the divine flow, as well as our ego's flows, our ego's wants. I feel like you're very intuitive beings, and you've noticed this sort of disconnect between what you feel you need to do and what you actually want to do. I think as a divine being, you're very in tune with what the universe wants, and you also want that. You want the highest possible outcome. You want to stay connected to the highest vibration. But for some reason you're really struggling. We need to talk about, with this Five of Wands, how you can minimize stress, drama, and unnecessary energetic attachments in your life, because these are all key issues that I'm seeing. We also, with this Five of Swords reversed, need to talk about how to breeze through some conflicts that may be impacting your ability to move forward. How can we address situations in which maybe communication hasn't been easy, maybe we feel as though we don't have the full truth from somebody, and maybe this is a situation that we have to decide, well, should we move forward on it, or should we really fight for it? It feels like this is a social situation, or this is something that is impacting your workplace, and you need to really find a way to resolve this issue without stirring the pot or making matters worse. With the Five of Pentacles reversed, we also need to talk about resources. We need to talk about working smarter, not harder, and maximizing resources right now. How can we gain more of like a passive support or income? And how can we make sure that we're not wasting resources right now by expending too much in an unhelpful way? It feels like this is something I need to talk about with you to help ease some concerns that you could have about your financial situation. Lastly, with the moon reversed, we also need to talk about the fact that your emotions, your energy has been on the pulse. You don't miss a beat, group 3. Your intuition is on point. There are some feelings that you need to address. And I think that moon card is about going through some subconscious fears, some subconscious feelings, and just really laying it all out on the table for you so that you can better understand where your heart is at currently, and what may be subconsciously blocking you as well. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, especially if the first part of your reading did resonate, group 3, your extended reading will be on my website. You can access it through the link in the description box. Please make sure you select the right reading. That link will take you to a page of all of my extended readings. So remember, you are group 3 of the What is the Universe Trying to Tell You readings. Make sure you find the right group if you wish to join me in the extended. Outside of that, I also just want to share a little plug real quick. I've been working on a monthly zodiac calendar. If you find these guidance readings helpful and they do offer support, information, or clarity, this zodiac calendar may be helpful for you as well. It features a summary of what each of the signs in the zodiac can expect for the month ahead, starting with this April. I also include on that calendar key opportunities, key challenges, and key advice for each of the signs. You buy the calendar with all 12 signs on it, and you can share that calendar with as many people in your intimate circle as you want. Once you have the digital copy, it is yours to print, to save, to zoom in, to share. My goal with this was just to offer information regularly and to give you the chance to give it and share it to whoever you feel needs it in your intimate circle. So if you value these guidance readings and you would like to make that a regular thing, I will be introducing my zodiac calendars every month, starting with this April month, which is up already as well. That's all from the plugs, my sweet souls. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your support on this YouTube channel, this platform. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your patience, and I'm very grateful that you chose me to read for you today. It has been a pleasure channeling for you. I'm about to take a little break before I do your extended reading. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough, and I wish you all the best. I hope to see you in another video, group 3. Bye.